Okay, let me just do a quick audio test and make sure everything is okay. There was a little delay getting in the room today, so I think we're all set now. Just let me make sure you can hear me okay. Okay, excellent. Looks like the audio is okay. All right, we'll get started in just a little bit. All right, well, welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. Great to be back here again this week. Today is July 28th, 2023. All right. So go ahead when you're ready. And if you want to type in any stocks for me to look at, do it in the comments area of the of your console there. And please type those in caps. Okay, it makes it easier for us to see them. And of course, we can do ETFs and we can do stocks. So it doesn't really matter if you want us to look at ETFs. Be glad to do that as well. We'll probably look at some anyway. Also, too, again, this is a place for you to get a second opinion on a stock you may either be thinking about or be in, or perhaps, okay, you want to see what other people are looking at and pick up a few for yourself. So we'll have a lot of fun here today, and it's always a fun time in the session here. All right, so let's go ahead. A few administrational items here we got to go through real quick. First thing I have to go over, of course, are the risks involved in trading. Like I always say, without that risk, there is no opportunity. So the two really go hand in hand. But you need to be aware of the risks. It is possible to lose some or all your money trading the financial markets. Run any of these particular trades that we look at or recommend today past your financial advisor or money manager to be sure they're suitable for you. We don't know your personal situation. They do, of course. And past performance does not, of course, guarantee future performance. We deal in a realm of probability, so keep that in mind. And finally, know how to do risk control on each and every trade. And we can help you with that. We've got some great books on money management that you can check out. I'll put the link for the books and also our software in the comments area when we do the recording for this. So that'll be all there for you. If you want to look at it right now, just go ahead and go to our website. There are buttons there where you can go ahead and find out more about this. All right, we've also got a new book coming out called The Art of Trading later this year. So that's being published by Wiley. We're pretty excited about that. It's going to be a great book encompassing a lot of new things that we have found in the markets, as well as some of our new software. And then I've got Elliott Wave Techniques, which is a form of technical analysis, and the survival guide for traders. All right, now when we look at charts, you may see things on our charts that you have not seen before if you're new here. And that is our software running in the background. So I'll go over that. But we have charting software, we have scanners, and we have risk control software. And give us a like. Okay. Apparently, it's really important to do that here on, especially on YouTube, but I would imagine all the social media areas. By giving us a like, puts us up further in the rating. So please take a minute and do that right now if you wouldn't mind. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in here. I see a few coming in already. Let me just start out real quick with Google and give you a quick rundown on what you're looking at here. So if you're new here, you're looking at our software loaded on 3 different charts. That's called multiple time frame analysis. The charting platform that you're looking at is NinjaTrader. Okay, our software works in NinjaTrader, TradeStation, MT4, MT5, and multi-charts. And we pick platforms that are stable and good quality. And these, of course, fit the bill. So I'm on NinjaTrader right now. And what you're looking at up here is our scanners. Okay, we're not going to be using those today because we're going to be basically just looking at picks you want to look at. And then, of course, I have the 60-minute time frame on the far left with our software all loaded. That includes the OWL, PTF, and TLM, and the ERI. And these are all indicators that we use to help us determine what's going on with the market. And then we have pyramids, which are triangles on the market identifying high probability trend patterns, as well as fractals in the market. We have reversals called pivot points or art reversals. And then, of course, greed and fear bars as well. Then we load that software in all 3 time frames. And so we got a short-term look here on the 60-minute. We got a daily chart here that gives us the intermediate view. And then we have the weekly chart over here giving us the long-term view. So when we start looking at all these markets, they're all the same symbol, but it gives us an idea of the short, intermediate, and long-term view of whatever stock we are looking at. So with Google here, let's take a quick look. So using fib extensions and also using Elliott wave, which is a form of technical analysis, we look like we have a 3, 4, and we're climbing up to a target zone to end the trend at some point between 160 and 208, and prices are at 133. Now, we were happy to get in very early on this on the first pyramid and put our stop way at the bottom. So it's been a nice ride up already. You'll get a zigzag. It won't keep going straight up, but it's on its way. It's doing what we had hoped it would do. And that's always nice when that happens. But as you can see, it's reaching up pretty far after this beautiful ABC pattern pullback here. So Google, if you're in it, I would still hold it. Depends on what your time frame is, but look at the 60-minute chart on the far left. We've got a green owl, which measures momentum, and we've got a green PTF, which is indicating higher highs. So you kind of want to stay with this, okay, folks? It's looking really good. All right, let's jump in. All right, so Sergio wants to look at Ford. So let's take a look at Ford here. Ford was on our recommended buy list. It's pulling back now. We don't think it will go, at least we're hoping not, it will go below the bottom here. All right, so here's our bottom way down here that represents hopefully the bottom of this correction, but certainly has been roly-poly. But in any case, it broke out again here. All right, so we liked it then, but it is pulling back. And so I would make sure your stop is far enough away and stay with it. It's not done pulling back. We've still got red here, red here, red here. So it's going to come back down. And if your stop is at the bottom there, which is where you want it to be, if that is a bottom, then that's going to hold. If not, yes, you will get stopped out, but you want to go if you get stopped out because that means that we didn't get in at the bottom. And it retraced here beautifully on the weekly chart with a green PTF indicating higher highs. So it's not unusual to get a sharp pullback off a bottom. And I think that's what we're experiencing now. All right, so Ford, I would stay with it, Sergio. Just make sure that stop, you're going to have that stop around 11 bucks, if not a little lower. Okay, that's really important. All right, let's take a look. Stuart, good morning. And Stu wants to look at General Motors. Let's see how that bad boy is doing. All right. So, all right, a little bit of a pause here and it's move upside. You notice you have the moved here, a little bit of a pause here, but green here, green here, green here, no red. Okay, no red here, no red here. So basically you want to be bullish, not bearish here in a situation like that. Now, here's the thing. If you wanted to go in for an early entry, fine. Okay, you're in it, you're good shape. Again, you got to put that stop pretty low. However, okay, if you want to wait for a breakout and get above all this stuff here, I would wait and go long there if you want to do that. So basically, it's been in a roly-poly type of channel here, and it's been in there for quite some time, like a year. All right, could it go on further? Sure. But a year is a pretty long time. All right, I've seen it go longer. But if that's a bottom, we'll probably get some type of movement off there anytime. And it may have started. We may have just had a pull back here and go surge forward. If you want to wait until that surge takes out this top, you certainly could do that as well. So I'm kind of bullish on General Motors. I'm not going to put it down really as a buy yet because I think it's got to get above that resistance level to take out the possibility of it not doing poorly, but not doing great, but staying in that mediocre channel. And of course, that chews up your money if it does that. So I'd wait for the breakout. So that is General Motors. All right, now, Jim, USO. Let's take a look at that bad boy. And the USO is the ETF for oil. And this is one we're bullish on as well. This has been quite an interesting trade. We went long, got stopped out, went long again and got stopped out. All right, now we're long again with a stop under here. If we get above here, you can move your stop there. But this looks like probably at this particular point, it may have found that bottom and is now moving back to the upside. So I would expect this thing to get above the $90 mark or $95 mark. And let's just draw in fib extensions at this point, just to give you a little bit better idea. Probably around 99 to 125 is the target on USO. So I would put USO down as a buy right now. You're going against a little bit of the weekly chart because it's not turned green yet in momentum, but it's so close that I'm going to initiate a buy on that at this point again. Okay, so USO looks pretty good. All right, so that is Jim for you. All right, Al. Good morning to you, Al. DWAC. Let's take a look at that. And let me, Al, put your picks up here like that. All right, so DWAC, long on all of them. All right, and we've got green PTFs on the daily and this. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not a very old stock. So basically, it came out and then sold off. And so that's kind of what we're stuck with. Very tough to get any type of what we call Elliott wave forecast on that. But it is appearing as something on the forecasting. There's enough history here on the 60-minute chart. So maybe 3. I don't think this is quite a 4. It could be also a 2. But it does look, according to the PTF, like it's going up. All right, so we've got a little bit of red here, green, green. So what do we do with this? All right, so we got a pyramid trading point. Let me just highlight that here. Okay, you can certainly see that here earlier. And here it is. It went up to 28. Now it's back down to 16. Ideally, the stop would be at 14. You know what? A couple things you could do with this. One is you could wait for it to break out here on the 60-minute. All right, because you got 2 unconfirmed fractal trend trading pyramid trading points here. So you'd have to get above the point of this particular fractal there before it is really signifying a buy on the 60-minute chart. You've got the buy already on the daily, but this would keep you out of possibly in case it comes down and fills the gap before it goes. So let me word this way. All right, I think this is a great trade to the long side. I think if you were probably trading this on your own without me here, but you had our software, you'd wait for one of these pyramids, hopefully the up one, to turn green and then go long. The problem with going in now is that it may pull back, fill the gap before it goes. But if you put your stop below this pyramid here, okay, you'll be okay. You should be okay. So I'm going to put DWAC down as a buy using the daily chart with a stop below the pyramid here. Okay. Otherwise, those of you having our software already, if you wanted to be a little more precise, wait for that 60-minute chart to kick in. All right, USO we looked at already. SCHW. Let's take a look at Charles Schwab here. And you're long on this one. Your USO, you're long, so that's good. All right, and let's see what we got cooking here. All right, we had looked at this, I think, a week or 2 ago. It looks good for a long trade now because we no longer have a red PTF. So everything is green here. Let's try to figure out where this thing is going in terms of a target. And this is kind of a little bit of a tough part here because we want to make sure this movement down is over and not part of a movement that's still just correcting a downward move. So that's where we got to be careful here. So basically, I'm not going to recommend this one right now because right now we're at a point here where it could go up a little further and come down or go up. And so I'm kind of split on the direction here. I don't have a really clear target zone. I think in terms of short term, because of the green PTFs, you're going to make it another high above, probably above 69, but we're at 66.40 now. So other than that, I'm not really sure where else it's going, how much higher. It could take off from there, or it could fail. So I'm not going to put this one on the buy list. I think you're okay on a long position here, but I know, Stuart, you have our software, so keep an eye on those PTFs. Maybe scale out a little bit unless we see some more clarity in that. Okay, so that is Schwab. All right, PLUG. Let's take a look at PLUG here. This is one we've looked at several times. And PLUG we actually liked earlier. Okay. All right, so now we're hoping on PLG that we have a significant bottom down here. We have a green PTF. We had a big sell-off. And this is not a 4, this is a 2. And so maybe we could be getting ready to rocket to the upside. And the PTF is calling for more highs eventually, not anytime real soon, but more highs eventually on the weekly chart above 75. But you're going to have to hold it for a long time, years before that happens. So what do you do short term? Well, short term, we actually figured that the target range, more shorter term, like within the next 6 months or so, is probably 1627 to 2180. So you still have some viability there to get into the target zone. But now we've got a pullback coming. You can see it here, amplified here. And this is red indicating the pullback's not over. This is the great thing about looking at it on 3 different time frames. It's a bullish move. There's no question about it at this time. But this chart here is helping with the timing, saying don't go in yet. Just wait for it to pull back a little bit more and wait for that pullback to finish. And then we'll take a look at it again for a continuation of the bullish trend. So I would not go into this now. If you're in it already, have your stop under here, okay, under this low here, right around $9 or so. And I think probably that should keep you in no matter what happens. All right, so that's PLUG. All right, Kevin, how are you doing, Kevin? MMM. 3M company, right? That's an easy one to remember. Okay, let this one load here on all time frames. Oh boy, I'm kind of liking this. Okay, so what Kevin has found here is one that has pulled back nicely. Let's open up the weekly chart here, just get an idea here of what's going on. All right, so you had a significant pullback here. So any long position you would take here would hope that this is some form of a bottom, right? Okay, this is the momentum still red, bullish divergence, okay, price coming down, momentum going up, that's good. No longer a red PTF, that's good. Only thing going against it on this time frame is it's still a red owl. So you do have to be a little careful. Now, let's just draw in case this is a bottom of some sorts. Where is this going? Well, very minimum, at least maybe here. So there's enough profit, but hopefully above here, right? Hopefully this is a major correction that's over. It's a little bit too low for it to really be, I think, a wave 4. It's questionable. Okay, if this is a 1, this is a 2. I mean, it came right down to the top of 1. So technically, I guess it could be a wave 4. A little bit, that's unusual that it comes down that much, which means the move to the upside is going to be probably a little shallower than we think. So let's see. So yeah, it's putting it right around 213, but you're at 112. So that's a double your money if it hits there. So I'm liking it. Okay. Also, too, what I like, a couple other things. If we magnify this weekly chart for a minute, notice that we took out the bearish pyramids where you made quite a nice bit of money on that down move. So you've been stopped out there on the top of that fractal pyramid. That's where our stop lies, on the flat part of that triangle. Now you're long here based on this pyramid with a stop under that pyramid's base leg. So you're looking good there. You've got a pyramid also here on the daily chart. You're looking good there. And you've got bullishness here. All right, so you got to keep this stop low, really low. You got to keep it either here or here. Okay, this here probably is the pyramid on the weekly chart down over here. So you got to use one of those stops. The further away, the lower your trade size. but the more chances are you won't get stopped out. The closer, in other words, this pyramid here would allow you to increase your trade size, and it is below the inflection point, so you should be okay there. So I'm thinking probably there would be a good idea. So this is, I'm going to put this down as a buy. Okay, MMM looks good. All right, thank you, Kevin. Good job on that. All right, so that is MMM. All right, let's see what we got here. Al's wants to take a look at CCL. CCL. Markets overall today are up 252. NASDAQ is 293. So even though interest rates were raised 25 basis points or a quarter point on Wednesday, looks like to me they probably could stabilize and not raise for the rest of the year. And I think the market may be taking that into consideration. So we'll see. But in any case, all these stocks are still looking very good. Okay, so CCL. All right, so we've got bullishness on all three time frames. Question is, where is the target now? Well, this is indicating, according just to the PTF, which is this indicator here. And by the way, this indicator here on all three time frames, this is the PTF, and it has a 75% accuracy rate. And this is an indicator that I developed for our students here, and we sell this on our website. It's a great indicator. And so basically, what it's telling you is that there's a 75% probability that the highest high in that green area, which is here, will be exceeded at some point. What it doesn't tell you is how much or how deep a correction could occur before that happens or when it's going to return. But it's kind of nice to know if you can see an impulsive wave up like we have now, and you have that green, then chances are we're going to have some profit taking and then come back up. So that's when that indicator is really helpful. So a stop here at this pyramid probably will be okay. But what I usually like to do, just to make sure you survive the profit taking, is draw some fibs in and put it under that fib bottom 61.8% line or 12.92. That's where I would have it. So the target on this probably at some point is going to be a little higher than that top. So if we draw some fib extensions in here, anchor it roughly, we're talking 21 to 25 bucks. And it may go higher than that, but that's the short-term target on that. So I'm probably at this particular point, let me just take a look at that weekly chart again, and let's open that up and see what kind of help this gives us. All right, so it's coming off an all-time low and moving up. So here it's a tough situation because of the fact the target on that is not too clear. And my target here at 21 bucks, we're sitting at 18.50. Your stop would have to be at least below this pyramid, 14. So you're not looking at a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So I guess I would have to pass on it. Now, if you had gotten in back here when we first looked at it and we talked about it, that was okay. Okay. But now not. Also, too, okay, it really could come down in here. And let's look at it again, because that may be the best point to buy, because then you'll have a nice possible profit after a pullback. So let's put that on hold, but take a look at it a little later, like next week and the week after. Maybe it could be. Let's see if it corrects over there. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at your next one, CMA, America Inc. All right, on Co-America Inc., let's see what we got cooking here. All right, so right away, I have to look at the weekly chart because it has a lot of red in it. Okay, red, red. Now, this short trend is out. Okay, no longer an active trade on the short side, but it's still bearish. So it's pulling up. As long as this stays red, any pull up here is indicating that this bottom is not the final bottom. So we have to consider any pull up here as profit taking when just a retracement. And that can go probably as high as 70 before it turns around and heads back down. So there is a little bit of a potential here because we're 53.80, but certainly based off the weekly chart, we're not taking a long position. Let's go down here. All right, the lower time frames are indicating that there is some possibilities on this profit taking move to the upside. And we have a little bit more room to go, but we got a green PTF. We have green over here. Only thing that now has got me concerned here is we have a little bit of bearish divergence. We've already had a big move up. You can see it here. So it's very possible this could hold, could come back down and then go back up. But I don't want to put you in here. All right, let's wait for a pullback. So I'm not going to recommend that yet, but let's take a look at that because we may get an opportunity to join some type of short-term movement to the upside if it pulls back a little bit. But it's not going to be a long-term type of situation with the red PTF on the weekly chart. Okay, good. All right, so anybody else? Let's take a look and see what else is cooking out there. How about cryptos? Okay, let me take a look at cryptos. I want to take a look at Coinbase here. All right, so Coinbase started moving off its bottom a little while ago, okay, back in the early part of this year. We liked it a lot. It's pulling back a little bit still right now. All right, it did reach another high here, but I think we're going to probably retrace some of this leg here, and we still have red here. So as soon as this turns green, I think this retracement will be over. So I'm actually very bullish on coin at this point. And if you're not in it yet, I would wait for this pullback to subside a little bit, and we'll take a look at it next week. But if you're in it already, just stay in it because you'll be fine and keep that stop low enough. All right. If you're not in it yet, you may be able to get in it at a little bit better price than what it is today. So that's Coinbase. RIOT is the blockchain mining company, which is also involved in the crypto market. And we kind of like this too. Again, similar type of thing. My only thing with this one here is it did for a brief moment, just hit the retracement here. Let's wait for that to go green again. If you're in it, you want to be in it. We think long term it's getting above 80 and we're sitting at 18, but that's going to take a while. But we're bullish on this one. Short-term timing, you can wait a little bit. Otherwise, you should be good. If you're going to trade it, make sure longer term, you have to have your stop around 10 bucks. So kind of far away, rather. So you may want to do an option on this. Okay, you can do an option. So keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at some others here. EOSE, and look good. Pass now, taking. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Tanking is right. All right, so not taking, but tanking, right? All right, so yeah, so at this particular point, interesting. Now, what's also interesting here, a couple things. Let's get rid of the all the drawing stuff on here so it's kind of clear. Because the fact that it tanked indicates that certainly we don't need that. All right, so what's the real issue here? All right, so the real issue is so far, let's see what the bottom is on this. So if we grab a horizontal line, let's just put this, I'll put it right here. All right, so we're kind of like right there at the bottom, I think, right there. So we haven't made a new bottom, which is kind of interesting. We have a red PTF here indicating we're probably going to go down some more. And that's kind of a little bit interesting because that's going to put it very close to the bottom. So EOS, we're going to have to see if that red line or the bottom of that pullback holds because it's going to be a nail biter. It still might, even with the red PTF here, you're still above the bottom. Now, here's what's kind of interesting. Whenever I see a big price bar like this, pay attention to the next one here, this little one in here. This is called an inside price bar in technical analysis, and it becomes a very important signal bar. So if it remains small or inside the larger price bar previous, then whichever way prices break, probably next week at some point, they break above that, then you're good for 2 to 5 price bars in that direction. If it breaks below, then you're good for 2 to 5 price bars in that direction. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, so this is kind of indicating that it's probably going to break below, but we'll see. So I'm not going to issue a buy on that right now. If you're in it, your stop's at the bottom, it's a nail biter. Again, we work in a realm of probability. Sometimes we feel there's a good bottom in and it looks good, but it doesn't guarantee that it is. So you always go with the probabilities, and more often we're right than wrong, but occasionally that we are wrong, right? That's the way it works. So in any case, look good in the past. I agree. But right now, we got to put that baby on hold if you're in it, and don't buy it if you're not in it. Okay. That's EOSE. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? For those new that just joined us, please give us a like. Okay. Apparently, that's very important in the YouTube rankings. All right. Let's take a look here. FNGR. Perry, I think that's you. Yep, that's Perry. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right, right away, my eyes go to all the indicators at the bottom, and they're all green, 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 green. Then I like to take a look at pyramids. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Now, the next thing we got to do is figure out a target. All right. I can't even make out an Elliott wave on that. Okay. If anybody can, let me know what you think it is. But I will take a look at this. And this is why I, again, love this indicator. 75% accuracy rate is calling for eventually a high above here. So that becomes my target on this time frame. So above 16, we're at 485. All right. Is that going to happen tomorrow? No. It's going to take years to get up there. So that would make it a long-term, almost like a buy and hold to some degree. All right, but let's see what the short-term charts are telling us here. All right, so the more normal chart that traders use for position trading is this chart. So on this chart, yeah, the PTF is saying it's going to go above 7, probably around 750, and we're at 4088. That's not too bad, short term, but is it going to go higher than that? And from that, we're not sure. Okay, Elliott wave count's not really clear. So, okay, so what do you do? All right, well, all right, if you want to go for this short little profit here, your stop would have to be here, which is above the pyramid, in order for you to have basically a 2-to-1 risk to reward. That's possible. Okay, that might not be a bad idea. All right, you certainly are seeing that here. Let's open up the 60-minute chart for a moment. And this gives us a little bit, possibly a little bit clearer look at the Elliott wave. So let's just see here where we're cooking here on this one. So I'm going to say we got the retracement there, fine. Remove that. Let's take a look at the extensions. I'll come back and change these a little bit. All right, so that's kind of in place with the PTF. And that's a 2-to-1. So that's not bad. If by chance this is a 2, then your target's going to be a little higher. But again, PTF fits in that target. So I'm liking this. Okay, I think it looks really good. All right, so that's FNGR, kind of checks all the boxes. So I would say this is a buy, FNGR. Very good job on that. All right, now let's see where we want to put our stop if you're going to go into it now. If you're already in it, you're probably in great shape here. But let's just make sure that pyramid is good, because this is really the first big move off the bottom, and it is. All right, so you'd probably want to put your stop under that pyramid or even in here. Okay, that could possibly be not a bad place to do it. All right, so that kind of thing. So let me just see here. So this is giving 7379. So we're looking up here. Probably you're going to have to put it here for the risk to reward. Okay, so probably looking somewhere right around there. So probably your stop right under the most recent pullback. Okay, good one. All right, let's take a look at HIVE. All right, let's see what we got cooking here. Again, nice, coming off a big bottom. Kind of like crypto, right? Coming off that big bottom. You got green, 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 green. A little bit of red over here because we're in a little bit of a pullback. See the pyramids coming back a little bit. This is coming back. All right, so I love this trade. The only problem is that I want to make sure we got bullish divergence. We're pretty darn close, I think, to a bottom, but it is very possible to slip one more time. So let's do this with this one. Let's put this on a watch list. This is, you don't want to miss this one. And if you're long already and you got in earlier back in here, you could have your stop right here and you're fine. You don't have to mess with it. But what I'm talking about is people that are not in it, considering it now. You may want to wait a little bit, because once we're sure of a bottom over here, then that's where the stop can go. Right now, if you get in it now, you'd have to put your stop down here. And that's pretty far away. So I don't want to recommend this until the 60-minute chart, all right, indicates that we have a wave 4 bottom there. Let me just draw in some retracements here, just to kind of take a quick look. You're in the target. We just got to wait for the owl. So that could change tomorrow. It could change later today, or could change early next week. So let's look at that next week. HIV looks good. I get it, but we want to just make sure that bottom's in. All right, QS is our next one. All right, you're doing a great job picking bottoms here, I think. All right, so this is looking good. We got green, green, tremendous green on this one. Now, PTF is calling for eventual higher highs all around the board, but at this particular point here, all right, that's going to take years. Okay, so what do we do here? Short term, we've got bullishness here. Where is this going short term? Well, we're definitely coming off the bottom. Now, here's something I like. Okay, a couple things. One, I'm going to draw a horizontal line in. Let's just put it here. So, based on this most recent pullback here, and even matches here, okay, you're above. I even think you might have gone above here. So that's a breakout. Okay, that's good. Let's just see if we've broken out on the upper one. Darn close. And break out there, then you're in good shape. Got a green PTF here, so chances are you are going in for a breakout. So let's put this down as a buy. Okay, I'm really liking this. Now, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to just draw in a normal fib retracement for a short-term target. So on QS, the short-term target is 54 to 84. Okay, and even that is tremendous because it's at 1330. So QS is a buy. All right, nice job. All right. See how you use the triple time frames to kind of zero in on whether it is a good time or you need to wait a little bit. Very, very important. All right, excellent. All right, let's keep going here. Gem, WEAT, W-E-A-T, okay? W-E-A-T. Our next one, let me bring you up here. Okay. I like this one too. Let me just see. I always like if I can get in early off either a bottom or a top. Obviously, if you get in early off a top, you're going short. If you're getting in off a bottom, you're going long. So this is looking pretty good. We got a little bit of a pullback here, but it looks like now maybe it's marching back up. I want to see if that march up is sustainable. Okay, I'm liking this. Here's my thoughts on this. All right. Let me just draw in a short-term target. The long-term target is above 13. That's based just off the PTF, okay? Don't even need to draw extensions. That's just based right off there. So that's fine. All right, again, you might have to hold that a while. But let's see what a short-term possibility here, and we can draw our fibs right in here. So we're talking around 843. Here's the way I would play this. All right, so wait for this high to be broken. Go long. Okay, put your stop under here. That's the way I would do it. So we'll put WEAT on a watch list. If you are in it already, that's fine. Okay, but if you're not, we're trying to just make sure that the pullback is over. If you're in it already, have your stop down here. Okay. But yeah, I like it. If the owl was green on the 60-minute chart, this would be an immediate go. Okay. So WEAT, good one. Don't want to miss it. Put it on watch list. All right, silver. Frank, this is for you. Silver. That's LV. Okay, so Frank is long at 21.23. All right. Silver's kind of messy, isn't it? A little bit right now. We like it too. for a long position, but you got to be pretty liberal on your stops because it's pretty volatile. So I'm not seeing any PTFs that are helping us. They're all yellow, which means they're neutral. So that's not really a help. We have green owl, red owl. All right, green pyramid here. Kind of a sloppy chart. I'm not going to recommend this to anybody at this point. We want it to kind of move back up a little bit more solidly before recommending it. If you're long at 21.23, nervous stop at 20.44, yeah, so you just leave it there, leave it alone. We may get a move back to the upside, or it may take a little bit of a dip, but if your stop is at 20.44, I think that's giving you the best chance to stay in this one. Right now, I will say if it moves back up above here, okay, then move your stop under here at that point, because you got it way down here, right? Under here. So you can move that up under whatever the low is. So let's make sure we got the bottom in here before you move it up. But that's kind of where I would have it. And at that particular point, all right, any new pyramids form, just follow it on up. Okay. I'm not recommending this now because we still have a red owl on the 60 and we have no green PTFs. All right. Thank you, Frank. Let's see. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, let me run over. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look at some of the intraday charts for a minute. You know, I always like to do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the E-mini, micro E-mini. And that has been a nice day trade to the upside. Okay, pretty slam dunk. Still moving up. Green PTF on the 60. Looks like we're getting close. Look at this on the 5-minute. So we've got a very strong bullish move. That's not over today. We may get a little bit of a pullback short term, you know, in here at some point before it heads up. So there you have it. We would have been long on this earlier, and this would be a nice little trade to the upside. Okay, so it looks pretty good. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ micro. That is beautiful as well. That's a nice move too. Okay, and there you have it. I'll move this. So hopefully if you're day trading, you want to be long these markets. Now, if you're just showing up, let's say you're not, let's say you woke up late today and you started to day trade. I would not go in it here, okay? It's too far long, it's too mature, and you got bearish divergence building in the 60. You look at all the pyramids in a row. Pyramids did a wonderful job here and here. So it's due for a pullback. This pullback will probably form at some point another pyramid, but I would now wait for the owl to go red because it's due. All right, when it's this long in color, all right, it's kind of overextended, and you can see it here too. So wait for the pullback. Now, how much of a pullback? Well, I would grab fib retracements, put them here and here, and if this remains the top, in other words, when this goes red, make sure you have this on the right top. And then you want to wait for it to pull back and then go long again and join the trend, because this is a very strong trend. If you want to do a counter trend, riskier trade, you can try a short trade down here. But that depends on how you like to do those. So if I showed up on this market here, I would probably be looking to get long after a pullback. Okay, that's kind of the way I would do that. All right, so that is it for today. So let me just go over a couple things here on the winners for today. We got USO, we got DWAC, we got MMM, FNGR, and QS. Those are the winners. Okay, on the watch list, we've got HIVE and WEAT. WEAT. And Alexander wants to look at the M2K on the smaller time frames. And same type of thing here. All right, we're getting a move off the bottom. So my only thing on this one here is we got bearish divergence here, bearish divergence here. No, you don't have bearish divergence there because we don't have a new high. But you do have 1, 2, 3, 4 pyramids in a row and big steep up. So on this one here, a little different than the other one. What I would do is I would draw fibs on this time frame because it's more clearer than the others. And so I would wait for the retracement here before going long. So you probably have, if this, whatever the top is, when this goes red, you might have to redraw that if it goes up here again. But that's what you want to do. And then maybe you could take a short trade if you're feeling chancy and go down here. But if you want to join the trend later in the afternoon, wait for it to come down here and go back up. Don't forget, this is a 5-minute chart. So, you'll be down in that area maybe in a couple hours. Okay. And then you can go long again. All right, so that's that kind of deal. All right. Anything else? I think we're good. All right, so don't forget, give us a like today. All right, definitely give us a like, and we'll see you back here next week. All right, thanks for joining us, and have a great week. I'll put a little music on. Maybe I'll put the MES up here for a little while as well. All right, and then we'll close the room out in just a few minutes. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one.